many of you can think that we are dealing with money in our subject, right? Our accountants are all the time putting rupees, paisa in this column and in that column. Sometimes it goes in the all the time we are looking at that, right? Okay. And think back and tell me one joke about money. Sure. Any joke money about money. No, money is very serious business. I think most people agree it's serious business. Any one of you can take clips of it. Ye joke paise ko. Ye acha joke.
So we'll take.
So,
Yeah, we'll take pictures.
Sitting. Oh, अरे वाह. ये बराबर. ये इधर आपको किधर है? हाँ. ठीक है. Now I've given your time, okay? Please try and think one joke to do with money or the use of money or use of money. अभी चुप रहने का सुन दूसरे लोग सोच रहे हैं. Point I am asking this for a point. It's not just point. Sure, please. Started actually.
Yes.
And in flow.
For the second session today, we have with us Mr. Eric Martin, who's a very seasoned speaker on the topic negotiations. He will be guiding us on the rules of negotiation, how we can negotiate better, and I hope we all learn something out of it which we can use in our daily lives. To introduce the speaker, I would like to call Vijita ji.
ये बहुत लंबा लगता है इसको शॉर्टेड कर दो.
Some short.
Negotiate with language.
So, Mr. Eric Martin, he is the founder director of Transaction Consultants, and he has conducted courses, classes for thousands of corporates and postgrad trainings in negotiation, selling techniques and marketing communications. And he has made over 100 TV commercials in the several languages, won national award for marketing collateral twice in his early 20s, and a half century of consultancy with suites of leading multinationals. And his USP, he says, that his clients learn creative approaches to problem solving and deal making for turnaround results. So I hope we can benefit from. And to felicitate him, I would request our senior member, sir. And Mayor ji, आप आज आपने दो है ना.
कैमरा इधर है. फोटो नहीं. There was a mistake there, not thousands of corporate, thousands of listeners and maybe some hundred of corporate. Doesn't matter. I have not lived that long. Acha, Joe. Right. What you said is because of longevity. I lived long enough to have all these things on. Yes. So, any joke? Somebody put up your hand, please. Please, I beg you. I plead with you. One joke. one on this heaven. Would you, if I want to become Mahmood now, I will do that. Excuse me. He used to be my favorite role is when I was this small. Now I think I think he's a very cool. But at least he acts like that. He's a very rich man. I've been to his farm in Bangalore. Huge farm. His son Lucky and horses and all of that. So he's not a fool with money. And you know what his song is, huh? La, 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 la. The whole thing is that सबसे बड़ा रुपया भैया सबसे बड़ा रुपया अभी 50 miles share area. I think at least 8 people are vigorously knocking there because they are reminded every evening or every their wives. सबसे बड़ा रुपया दिखाओ ना रुपया क्या लाना
रोज पूछते हैं इसमें क्या
सबसे बड़ा जो सबसे रुपए बड़े ओके फाइन आई वांट टू आस्क डू यू एग्री सबसे बड़ा रुपया
in today's world it is right, it is not correct.
डू यू एग्री अभी जो ना अपन देशों में छे देशों you agree सबसे बड़ा
No,
don't agree who okay shortcut instead of asking each one no partial you are either married or you're not married there is no partial
I am married.
it is like that you are either pregnant or you're not pregnant there is no half pregnancy so far that I know you agree put up your hands you agree put up your hands man, you know, you've got character to say what he says, even if some aadmi samne now. And you people are now feeling that सबसे बड़ा रुपया नहीं है, or I said it the other way around. सबसे बड़ा रुपया है, वो हाथ ऊपर कर लीजिए. So it depends. It depends. Now I want you to make up your mind. Use, gentlemen, because you know what? A lot of people go through life. It depends, yeah. Top job नहीं मिलने वाला है. तो ये level पे रहेगा. Depending on whether they keep you at that level also. The top people have the courage of their conviction. This gentleman, right or wrong? Conviction. Because your decisions at that level cannot be, let me think about it. 5 people are waiting for you. Boss, ये करना है नहीं करना करो. वो कर. You're there, no? Chief, na? Not underneath. You have to learn this whole thing. So today, I'm in a bit of a soup, you know, not a quandary, because I meet people and sometimes I have to think, are we talking decision making? Are we talking negotiation? Because there's an overlap, right? When you arrive at a decision, you're clear, no? You've worked out things in your head in this way or not that way. Decision making is a thing where if I were to say it, it would be, you set up the we are going on holiday to Lonavala or we are going to Malaysia. Parameter, full family मेरा 1.5 लाख का budget है. लोनावाला हो सकता है. Bird child and the cat and the dog. You follow what I'm saying? So there are always parameters, you know. Will it be for I have 2 weeks leave? Or I have 1 week leave, we are going to go all the way there. By the time we get jet lag or वो सब 3 दिन का मजा क्या फायदा इधर लोनावाला जाएंगे next year सोचेंगे. Am I right? Are we understanding this whole process? Yes. Now we come to negotiation. what you start in the beginning, हमारा ये goal है. In the end, you might find that you are changing that goal. You're giving names in. Whereas when you have parameters, you can come to a clear decision. He's so fast. I don't know many of you. I know this guy. But ये करना है simple. 1, 2, 3 करो बात. And then action. Okay. So I want to be clear that when we are talking today, there will be some overlap of what are we discussing. I may give examples which are of negotiation, but they are all down to decision making. Now, सबसे बड़ा रुपया ये मालूम है सुबह को ये दिमाग में नहीं था जब भी I was on my way मैं सोचा क्या है इन लोग के मुस्कुराहट कैसे लेने का ये साला चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट लोग बहुत सीरियस लोग होते हैं बहुत सीरियस they have to be even if they are not when they sit in front of the client that the client Sanjay Gandhi is taking it too easy and what I'm paying him fees for he's not doing this but the reality is as Mr. Accountant there. I've got his name down somewhere. Grandlich ऐसा कोई है. And he's always called on TV shows as the face of accountancy. Because he knows his topic and he knows his profession. There they call it CPA, that you know. And recently, which was astounding to me, there's some number. Often CPAs are leaving the every 2 years. Give you the exact figure. I have it on his name also. I can give you. It's astounding. It makes you wonder. People are spending so much time to study, get into the practice, and then in 2 years' time, this out of a total of X number, which is a substantial thing. And then they did a survey on that. Because the problem was, on the one hand, so many people going, but normally every year from the different colleges, you are in flux, not just CPA. How many designations do you know of the chartered profession of chartered accountant levels? Do you know besides CA and CPA in the US? There are at least 5 or 6. Yeah, there are a number of things which give you almost equivalent, except that you'll be looking at a different aspect of it. One can be also, you can call cost accountants, also comes in that same area. But there are so many people coming into the profession, but not as many as to. So look, so again, I'm saying this with reference to even India's context, because it looks like kids are not wanting to go into it. Or then further into chartered accounting. They find and they found out by doing inquiring people who are there. We are working too bloody hard in our profession as chartered accountant compared to other people in profession. The next closest may be medical profession. But working too hard. We have no time to enjoy, be with family. Would you agree that if those who are married and have families, can you raise your hand if you feel that really we are working too hard or not time balance? There are a few. There are quite a few. But we are like those people in the trains, you know. Every morning I used to stay outside Churchgate. I go through I see it from the platform. जैसा मेरा का ट्रेन आया ऐसा दबा के अंदर and then they are hanging on to it, right? Daily occurrence, right? They are not physically in that, but mentally we go through that, right? Now, what has this got to do with my negotiation? Because I just thought, let's get an overview of this profession and understand and whether we are in agreement and what can be done, etc. Then I come to Because one thing I want to say I asked how many people are working. There are quite a few people are working. How does it affect in India? And I just checked with that before, not this talk, an earlier talk. I have found that a lot of work is not bothering them because they are outsourcing to Indian firms and Indian accountants. तो उनका जो तकलीफ है हमारा फायदा है. Okay, so maybe yes, we are maybe okay, but we are not getting the top level work. We are getting only the the inputting, which you are going to fit in for tax purpose basically. And then after that, then there will be an evaluation by a higher level of what should be the strategy or what should. Evaluation for you. All this will connect the dots later. I have another observation for you. Have you heard of Money Magazine? It is all over the place. It's very common. It's still around. But some years ago, they did a test, very interesting test. They said average का उससे ज़्यादा लेते हैं. Average $50,000-$60,000 yearly average American का. They asked tax preparers, CPAs, accountants to please calculate what will be the incidence of tax, income tax, IRS wise, on a income of 200,000. It's interesting, no? Have we done it here? I don't know. But they asked a huge number of people. And it was a big issue on which this was highlighted very rationally and very correctly. Tax preparers का कितना होना चाहिए. But here it was astounding कि भाई कहाँ से कहाँ taken for 1 year, last year was 16,700. Okay. Tax preparers are submitting returns all the way from you are due to pay 6,700 to 73,000. Picking this up, this is Money Magazine doing the test not for 1 year, but over a period of 4 or 5 years, they found that consistently this is this variation from trained people to whom ordinary I'm not seeing. I'm man on the street, ordinary man. And I'm paying 73,000. That guy goes to the other guy and he says, you pay 6,700. दोनों का हो जाता है, unless there's an audit or a surprise, what you call that, random check. Look at it. And then they did one more survey. How much are these guys paid? For the guys who charge the highest also in the charge layer, there's a variation of $3 per hour. It was in the region of $88 per hour. Unka hourly rate for the chartered accountants at that time. Isn't this interesting? Shockingly interesting. But if this is what is happening, we got to relook what is happening. We have to understand that when we raise questions, including how negotiations should be done, what for. The topic here today is, how it applies to chartered accountants. So I'm just giving you all some thoughts to look beyond yourselves and beyond your practice and see it in a larger framework and the world framework. और अपने भाई लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? I'm sure that if you did the exercise in India as well, it wouldn't be much different in terms of range. The range being around 8 times, not once, twice. So this brings up one very important point. It's not that the training, we are the toughest. You guys, I salute you. I would not do your. मेरा fifth attempt, sixth attempt, eighth attempt, मैं तो drop out आदमी हूँ. मेरे से नहीं हो जाना ये इसलिए. But you guys actually do it. And yet, with all the stuck within this range, that you can have a variation of 2 to 5 to 8, Therefore, it is even ICAI also that has to look and actually do this and see what is happening, what is wrong. Now, the point is not that. The point that I'm trying to make is when you have this variation, it indicates का साथ रखना है, right? दिल लगा के काम. That's whole work-life imbalances because you're putting so much work into the thing that you do into your work that you sit late. ये 3 return जाना ही चाहिए. ये audit sign करना ही है. ये वो होना है, वो होना है, right? And therefore, you. But a layperson like me is that you're up. There it is IRS. Here is income tax. Against such a plethora of rules and regulations and codes and sections. And this is applicable and that is not applicable. And this is the tiers, right? It is not, perhaps it may not be humanly possible. Everything is thrown out and started, which is not going to happen. Right? We always keep it tinkering. So it will say, now this is amended or that is long-term capital gains. ये है लास्ट ईयर कुछ नहीं था अभी 10% है और ये है और वो है अरे हम जैसा आदमी क्या यार हम आपके पास जाएगा आपके पास गया तो 7,000 बोलते हैं वो 70,000 बोलते हैं you follow what I'm trying to tell you. Obviously this needs a lot of scope for negotiations which happen is am I right? All these things are about wherever there is complexity there is scope for negotiation. You may be right, you may be wrong, but if it's complex enough, you can say, right? And then the negotiation. So now, I want to ask we are getting now into negotiation. Please excuse my preamble, but I think it has put everybody in the right framework that it is important. We should understand, we should see where we stay, whether it's worth this kind of job and tension, everything, one thing can land you in jail. Lalu Prasad, वाइफ ने के डॉटर थे को पता नहीं वो गपला वो करे बेचारा उसका नाम क्या था हरीश somebody who was the CP he was put into jail यार he is sitting tight but he is the guy who signed से हमने ये बकवास वो साइड उसका so you are all the time working with this thing so you're used to it now but it is there so that is why it becomes a problem also when we talk work life, you go on. Putin ने उसको भाई में उसको दिया कर दिया आके पहुंच के अपने गले में पहुंच गया and it comes to me and I pick the top. समझा वो तो whole thing गुस्सा वहां से यहाँ पे गए थे पासिटॉन करके Chana foot that. So it is a matter that all these things get passed on. And all the things, nobody wants to take the responsibility exactly what should we be paying and how and what, but we all have this sword on top of it. I'm not saying any of us is going to go to jail, but if we don't, we still have the tension. And that will raise the point that when there is something which is at odds with somebody else, that is what negotiation. What is negotiation? Can you just throw one sentence? Negotiation. Hey, what do we do when we negotiate? Agree good. Agreement to something.
Try to communicate maximum out of the situation.
To get maximum out of the situation. From your point of view, no? Yes. So I think we can put all this together. If I have 6 people like you, I can change the constitution of India also. So let's see. The idea was communication. It's an interactive communication. Was it you? Somebody said. You said, do I have an agreement? But we want to do it in a civilized way. Now I want to show you another way of negotiation. We don't want to do that negotiation. Negotiation comes out of that and in a decent, nice, civilized But of course, there are UN negotiations, United Nations. I was very young, but उस time USSR था. And then Nikita Khrushchev, तत्व आदमी था. Bhagat takes out his juta. I don't know whether any of you know, it's history. The guy was doing that for an effect. My will not allow. Because after I was years later, I found someone had taken a like extra juta. Or
Look, I am that strong. You can't do anything to me. Do what you want.
no, thank you, sir. This is called the power play. It is what you portray, the stance you take, the look you give. I will not have it. This man saw me. I took it off, but I came to the court. You remember me saying? I want to make a point. मैं इधर कोई लल्लू नहीं है. ये मेरा देखो लंदन का सेवन रो का कोट सूट पहन रहा हूं, है ना? You understand my point? You get my point now, sir. It was that, and inside is the tie also. वो भी tie लगाने को मैं बोला point के लिए tie है अंदर में. So I could also have come with my 4 books which I have written on negotiation. Right, sir? How many? 4. 1 movie happening. If I put those here and I come like that, शायद और 3 साल मिल जाता बिल्डिंग में. So let us I'm just being very open and clear about it. Something that people do. I used to make ad films at one time. The 2 terrible people had known in the whole of industry, in the advertising and the industry. एक Mr. Fernando Glindia था. The चिल्लाता था. The chief copywriter of I was consulting advertising agency called Mechanical, the 3rd largest. There people had come. That lady was in tears and ran off from the bathroom, and from there she went. Said, if you can't stand the heat. Absolutely true. I found no problem with that. Everybody, I was just looking at him. I said, I read you totally. You're sitting in that chair not to be nice guy. Because you just told them, this is a shitty bloody campaign. It's done nothing for me. And you are going to be sacked, and you guys know it. In spite of which, you're coming up with this campaign, which I know is not going to go anywhere. Somehow save that many crores of advertising spending, which they were doing through that agency, where they would have made 70% on that. So I was being paid to somehow keep this. Now, I won't go into how I managed to keep it, but I did actually. One part of it is this thing. It's very simple. You bring a region. They're all fighting for a market share. Right? These people had Holic, somebody had something else, something else. This market was for convalescent. जो sick होता है, cannot have hard food and all. I think that we already know. That is what they mix it up or put in milk. And something had to be done. Now this is why in लोग ने बोला ना creative ऐसा कुछ है ना. Let me read what my USP. मैंने ऐसे ठोक दिया. My clients learn creative approaches to problem solving and deal making for turnaround result. Creative. And the best thing that you can do when you come to a But the creative thing that I did was I said, we are thinking of this pie. I got the idea, and we will do this. We will enlarge the pie by including, instead of the convalescent sick people, we are going to include healthy seniors. They also need, they cannot eat hard food and किसी का दांत चला गया ये, right? That's a whole market you have not gone, and your advertising, everything is not addressed. It's like they don't exist, but immediately they found yes. For my campaign, my ad, it was there a lot of time and very good. Was very. I took 11 senior players this side and 11 seniors. Right? And at the break time, their wives, nice old nanny type people, are making Horlicks and for Horlicks. Acha. But it entirely addressed something that was not addressed before. It's not nobody. It was a form of negotiation. We just said, let us enlarge the pie. That is what good negotiators do. So then what happens? Now I want the full, I don't want any. Two sisters with or two lady friends. One orange. But half. No, I don't half. I want full. When you find out that this is the stand, listen. I think I should use this thing. They brought it and asked for it. Is this bad? So, orange. You do a negotiation, you ask. What? See, why do you want this one? Why do you want full orange? I'm making a cake. It's an orange cake. मेरे को उसका जो rind है ना, उसको काट के उसमें डालेगा और उसको it will become an orange cake.
Yes.
And the same one orange has double the happiness than they would have got from Harvard. You get what I'm saying? So this is a very part of it. If you can bring what I use, my creative thinking. Earlier, instead of just the same market share being cut, we just had that was enlarging the market. Here there's no enlargement. But this is a creative way. तुझको क्या चाहिए दे देता हूँ अभी खुश हाँ उसको छिलका उनको लेने दो forward it छिलका for them that's all I want you keep your juice. So I've just given you an example of how you can bring your plus thinking. Nothing to do with what is there. That's what it is. So one key thing I will say is SIS in some book or something, you can use a different. This can be stance or you can call it position. मेरे को चाहिए ये full दे दो या तो नहीं चाहिए. I get half the rind, I cannot make the full orange cake. I need the full thing. I want the full. She's saying that will not even give me half cup of juice. I want the full orange. So they positions for the same thing. Very strong position. Yeah, all or nothing. Go a little deeper. And then you come from to What is the issue actually? See, the position is one thing. I want the full thing, all or nothing. The issue is, if I get the covering, the rind, I'm happy. Person says, if I get the juice, the same thing has two different issues. Those both. Or, am I making sense, gentlemen? Absolutely. So, find out the issues. Sometimes the solution in this particular place it has to come. Has to come. And then you get your solution. As simple as that. What is the solution? As we three gentlemen came to the definition of negotiation, when you have a civilized conversation, uncovering the issues so that you can come to say it loudly.
Agreement.
All of you. Negotiation. There's one issue here. Is negotiation agreement, right? There's one issue which we must remember whenever we do negotiation, which I always focus on from the beginning. Is this agreement doable? As they say, not worth the paper it's signed on. Sometimes you don't have, sometimes you have handshake agreements in the good old days when people can spit each other, right? Now you can have 10 clauses, but if the person says, "Zabardasti karke mera order le aana," usko sikha kehna. What when does that happen? When you don't need to deal with that. I've had that. I've dealt with a number of foreign companies when trying to get their products into India and all that. When it's a so yeah, that can work for you, can work against you, but you understand what I'm getting at. You must know, can it in this case, kato, juice nikalo, de do usko, juice isko diya. It was easily did. So already in the back of your mind say, isme kya gadbadi hai? Actually, in not the negotiation per se, but in the execution of the negotiation, to me is as important. But while I waste my time advising you on the negotiation, you call me, say, tell us how we should go about, what should be our strategy, what should be our tactics, yeah, ऐसा जैसा अंदर गया ना गाली शुरू साला he can't talk within the M and C and B and बरोबर ऐसे लोग होते हैं. It's okay, no problem. Come to the issues. Not the position. World stage. For years and years, you know. And Camp David Kuntha, President Carter, I think, and he got these two guys. $1960 15 साल पहले हमला करके Israel and had possession, and these guys are saying, not yours, ours. Maybe 10 years, 15 years. No. Now it is all settled. This is the new reality. You have to think, what are the issues? Anwar Sadat, he was a little precarious about it. If I go back without an agreement, if you look at it, it was just a piece of land, yeah. But that land was a for the Israelis, it was a negotiating. कि हमको ये चाहिए वो चाहिए instrument. It was something that they had won through a war with which they had spent money. ऐसे क्या देना? मैं ये अपना है पहले से अपना है दे दूँगा मैं. Covered all around by enemy kind of countries. We all know, right? हमको अपना लगा. So at the base, under the position, the issue with the Israelis was separate security, not the land. They're going into the talk, starting talking about itna kilometer gangsta, but the issue was something else. So, I don't know, I was not there, as I would not have been able to, but whoever was in Camp David came up with the right solution. Bola did go, Israeli law. How many bases do you have? Military bases. We have got so many, we have got so many. We are going to make this, we are taking it in our name to keep you happy with international controls. We are calling it a DMZ, which means demilitarized zone. It is theoretically yours, but there will not be any war, nothing. We will be safe. And the Israelis on the fence around can put 3 more missile ye wo base karke, you are safe. But now there was an accord. Shaking hands. Nobel Prize, each prize, ये वो सब हुआ. अभी हमको Nobel Prize अभी तक मिला नहीं. I'm hoping that one day they will call me to do something wonderful. So we are getting the points to explain to you that these are the ways in which you tackle. But I come back to my first point. कि भैया सबसे बड़ा रुपया सबसे बड़ा रुपया. Now you are serious. You cannot have that stance, am I right? With this exception. Because he can leave his job, he can leave his practice in his
Yes.
May I give you my personal example of very bad time I went through? I was having near Mahim Kanosa school, I was having the building plans, large enough space. So my neighbor was having foam rubber का बना the एक short circuit हो गया, move कर गए, आग लग गया, मेरे अंदर में आया, हमने लोग उधर भाग गया, मेरा उधर से मैं got my office report तो मेरे को फोन करते हैं साहब फायर हो गया साहब हम भाग. What's wrong with you यार? Fire extinguisher है अपने 3 है. Last time it had happened in a small way, so I had kept fire extinguisher. Just, sir, we ran for our lives. Next day, I got that evening I had the evening news. 17 fire engines to put off my blaze. I still kept it. Ow. I was such a good business person. मैं लोगों से काम लेता था. हमारा 1 मशीन 2 मशीन मैं बाहर को देता था. भाई तुम्हारा इतना है, तेरा कॉस्ट कितना है, मेरे को इतना दे दो, मैं तेरे को चार्जिंग माय क्लाइंट. हम लोग को सिर्फ उधर से चपाते. I would do designing, plate making, those who know printing, plate making वो सब करना. खाली तेरा मशीन है ना, पेपर गिरा लो, पेपर बुलाए, सब कुछ उन लोग का सिर्फ 50 4,000 इतना दे देना, सब लोग खुश. And my mall is lying around in several places. I will think my TV commercial, I will think this, I was very hardworking boss. I still come back very dog tired. So dog tired that if I'm sleeping in the train, I just saw once, what is this white? Hello, opposite had cut my और ऐसा निकल रहा था. मैं जैसा उठा ना भाग के it had slowed down between Marineland and entered into the platform. So I used to work that hard, but it was all gone. In fact, I was very young at that time. And I reached किसी का फैंटा लिया उसको अपनी आंखों से किधर जा रहे सर अरे इसको ठंडा दे रहे हैं the windows were there which see and I had 2 units I had a printing unit value plastic unit. I was doing molding of gift items. I was doing advertising work with gift items. The whole damn we paid 30 of blue color granite. Was there's a Star Wars with it, science fiction car. There's a Priya of plastic as cool or whatever, blue. It dried up after the working science fiction. Plastic पे और वो बाजू जैसा था and I had to pay those guys because they 1-2 days before they said साहब इधर बहुत बड़ा है आपका उधर ले लो और भेज दो तुम्हारा क्लाइंट को ऐसे ना भेज दो on Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday. So what happens is, he knows what from being Lakpati or I don't know how many Lakpati, I was out, finished, wiped out.
Rakpati.
Rakpati, वाह वाह मेरे को हंसा है तुमने मेरे को याद से रो Rakpati से I remember for my next trip. My next talk will definitely how I turned from Rakpati into Rakpati. You want to take Sir, gentlemen, here's my point. Of course, it's another story that I had my honeymoon ticket for 2 days later. I went to the municipality. I had to make all this thing. I did it, and I took my wife's hand, and we flew to Europe. That's a different matter. That's my love story. Bollywood, here I come. But this is actual fact, huh? मेरे को फोन किया मेरे को इतना इतना देगा very पक्का so he said no he said I know I owe you so many lakhs and down to the price of it tell me how much more paper you want you normally पेपर एप्लीकेशन का बोलो कितना चाहिए अभी हो Are you mad yet? Just tell me how much you want. He said, if I don't give you the paper and you don't pay, how will you pay me what you owe me?
And it's not forever. Yes.
Smart admin, but he didn't have to do it. He knew I'm in a jam. But it's because Kani Advani, uska dusra naam abhi aayega. 4 people, my suppliers all called me and said, no problem, I have no manager. Okay, client to they should not use their timetable. Why?
Yes.
I trust because Kani told me, Eric, you are my best master. You have. When the time came, your check was ready and you said, सबसे बड़ा रुपया सबसे बड़ा I tell you from my person, it's a real incident of my life. real Rajpati ban gaya tha. The whole reason why that happened in China, but it's a whole long story. This first things you guys have to do. Anybody, any profession, especially a professional, sure that you are. That's what. School, his name was Ram. After the CA also. Okay, not money bharosa, because money will come and money will go. I've seen many times. For me when you hear my life story, but doesn't matter. Here I am fine. Matlab, studies and your after studies you applied, you did your articleship and you at all times you must remember. Assure you, if whatever service you're doing this, people should trust. Why is that CA there? The word CA is that when somebody proposes 50 shareholders of the company can read the balance sheet or the annual report. That's what we got so and so signed. It's signed by a CA and it's correct. What does it mean? It means that we are the only custodians of trust for money. Money is only a thing, but to be able to trust that this money is actually there.
NFRA should also trust us.
So, the trust says what? That these are not fake sales invoices booked up at the end of the year. Okay? Or laga diya. I was in a company, I know that was happening. The salespeople were told go out for next 3 months ka sale, abhi ye mahine mein leke aane ka. You know. But to FACO and like our great friend, Mr. Satyam and Sarah, creating. But that is where a good CA will understand. So, pura industry, rest of entries increased by 30%, increased by 20%, right? Getting on the tiger that he cannot handle. But he's on it, he's going on. But the right CA would have seen very simple. तो इतना काम कर रहा है और वही 20,000 होना चाहिए था. You should have either leased or bought so many more laptops or whatever does for the coding, right? अभी ये नहीं है. Because a good person will be able to ask the question, isn't that what is required when you're doing an audit? You look at the person, you look at the company, or even if you're an internal person and it's an internal audit, is the top management got that in mind, giving the right amount of staff for an audit to happen so that a good audit can happen? And then all these different things which you have, the principles that you have for good audit, all these things, right? Are those being followed? If it is 5% variation, then it is not allowed by, I don't know, yes, 5% or 0.5% of profit for 1 month of your equity. Kya rules hai? I know they exist, I'm not a CA, but I know these are the various things on various levels. Because there is monetary, what is the kind of currency being used? I would say, go to the extent to say that life has become so complicated for you guys now that you can have one, you बोलेगा यार अभी easy हो गया, क्या बात करें? Software सब कुछ काम कर रहा है. Software that is entering sales in a particular way, another software in another place may be entering the same sales with a different connotation of that sales, and yet you're putting, because they are sales, you're saying these are good. They may not be equivalent. So you have to see the parameters of that, whether it fits into the same thing. So both are comparable, right? All your things have to be comparable, have to be justifiable, have to be verifiable. And so you'll find that yes, जब ये things like this happen. PwC was the company, right? Or certain, such a big company, etc. What happens? Somebody must have paid a price at PwC, right? Many of the clients, when it came next time around, are you crazy? Even PwC will be investigated. उन लोग ने उनके लिए किया तो इनके लिए भी करते होंगे. Are you following the repercussions of it? So in the end, can verify this, the work will come to you, it will continue with you, and those who mislead this trust are actually the losers. You cannot negotiate yourself out of this trust, because I'll say when there are all these ethics issues come up, look at the bigger picture. Look at the picture.
Long term, you are the loser.
Long term, you have to be, you will be a loser. And I've been studying because I help with business turnarounds or advise it. Not that I'm the CEO or anything like that. But if you look and people refer Enron, right? Falsified, yeah. They knew, but they falsified regularly. What happened? Jeff Skillings, who was the CEO, the amount of millions that he had to personally pay for his Ushari. You get me? That 1 year, 2 years, when they offloaded Martha Stewart, also knowing that his shares are not going to do well, he offloaded, short in the whole time, right? But in the end, they're paying a heavy price. They never recovered. Enron went into bankruptcy, and there's no Enron now. Yes. The other one that went gone with the wind, unfortunately, at Bhopal, the wind brought so many Union Carbide, metal cyanide, right? Gone with the wind in that sense, literally. But that wind killed so many people. So if you compromise and say, we've done a blind eye, sooner or later will catch up with.
Anderson was allowed to go with the wind.
Yes, yes.
That was India.
That was India. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you can focus at that moment, it sounds very tempting, etc. And most people will do. Maybe I in that situation will come on the pressure. यार अपना धंधा इस पे है, उनको हाँ करना पड़ेगा, ये साइन करना पड़ेगा. And these are things that really you are dealing with on a reality. Okay, for chartered accountants, I want to tell the chartered accountants or any professional. It took me years of dealing with Kani and those paper suppliers now, but when I did it, oh boy, they came and put me back on top. I had nothing. I was bankrupt, literally, kuch paisa, everything wiped out. If I had been Chanapatti and said, "Nahi, iska kam karo, iska cut karo, ye kar, wo kar," couldn't have been the same thing. So my feeling is based on years of seeing what is the natija. Some people get away with it, some people don't get it. But you must take the high ground, and you have to do two things, which most people and most chartered accountants don't do in it. One is educate your clients at every opportunity. The top people. I know Volker, Mr. Majum. Where does he go and talk to his clients on a regular basis? Every 3 months, we have a call thing. Call it at least breakfast. Or whatever, doesn't have to be. But with their market, these are the latest trends. This is it. This is the principle of Walmart. You know Walmart? They are very smart. There is so much preference. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Shrinkage. The technical word is shrinkage. Think shrink. How are you, Johnny? How's your dad? Yeah, I know. I saw him last time. How are you, sweetie? How are you trying? Yeah. When the greeter, they put hardly paintings. Retired army, yeah. कुछ काम नहीं, जो आया अंदर आंखों में आंख के शेक. You know my dad, yeah. He said, how do you back? आज तो चोरी नहीं करें,
You are not unknown.
आज चोरी नहीं करें. Hi Johnny, अभी तो मेरा नाम भी जानता है साला. You know, so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you will find you're getting a better technique, then you will know. It's for the top people to set the high ground, and your article clerks and everybody will follow suit. If you say, I'm with you, I stay with you. Listen, the whole world is going through a sea change. Because the internet and everything is making it very transparent. You cannot hide. 10 years ago, you could hide. वो क्या है April spring ऐसा पूरा उड़ा दिया गवर्नमेंट को इजिप्ट में कहाँ थे. It was just went wildfire on the roads. Internet immediately. क्या बोलेगा मेरा बॉस ने ऐसा किया. Unknown person will come and will go to
Flag bearer
or
red flag bearer.
red flag. Now I want to tell you, you guys all know Sarbanes Oxley and all that. 1992, am I right? Mr. Oxley of Ohio and Sarbanes. Set up that you cannot go to foreign countries and bribe, you will. यहाँ पे भी कुछ भी चल सही रहा है. Guilty. When I was a kid and I just started driving, hey, breathe. This is the car. असं होतं. आम्ही इथे आमचं परिस्थिती आता आहे. It became a कशाला कशाला underpaid cops. You follow? No space in jails. कितने लोग हैं इतना जेल ही है नहीं इधर लोग. Long wait times in the courts.
Never ending.
Huh? I have gone through at least 3 court cases of 19 years, 17 years, and sitting in lawyers' offices waiting for you to finish the and then take up your mind at a high cost. But that is changing because they got this new thing after Sarbanes Oxley of whistleblower. Have you heard of it? And now allowing the whistleblowers protection. Not only that, if somebody says, why did you whistleblow to haram, sorry, to what do you call it, namak haram, correct? No? हमसे खाने खाता है और तुम हमारे कुछ भी मारा नहीं कुछ भी correct? That man can go to jail and you audit if it ends up in a prosecution. So the world is changing. So the cost to the shareholders has been too much. Yeah. The number of people who have lost millions on Satyam or you thought they don't know anybody. We are not thinking of them. They're your brother, they're your sister, they're your mother, your father. How can you say no? It doesn't affect me. It does affect. It does affect. What is the solution, boss? It says talk to chartered accountant. मैं बोलता हूँ माफ करना उनको मेरे को गाली देगा. गंदी गाली दूंगा. Time one or this at all. It's you are only in your current with very few chartered accountants. But rules and bylaws and all that which forbid you to advertise. Okay? But terrible. The lawyers are not supposed to advertise. In America, where I stay, the only billboards are your personal injury, our clients. We have given so many million to this person. We get so many million. कुछ पैसा नहीं दे लेगा, हम संभालेगा, right? We get the money, you take 70, you got injured, huh? You take 30 years. That 70 allows me to do all sorts of nonsense also to get that 70, right? But fortunately in India, that doesn't happen. Doesn't mean you cannot have, you are allowed a website or not.
Yes. Interesting.
You are allowed to, but you are allowed to blog,
Yes.
you are allowed to educate your potential, both your customers as well as your clients. वो क्या करते हैं यार? छोटे बच्चे जैसे तुम लोग सोच रहे ऑटोमेटिक आ जाएंगे.
Nobody comes.
So if you want to, up my road, if there's one thing you don't take away from negotiation, to do. Yeah, अभी negotiate क्यों पूछा? हमारे और भी thing in the pipeline. There is no, as far as I know, I may be wrong, there may be, but what I see is, and others are so into their daily work, they don't think what is the pipeline for new clients or replacement products. Put up your hands. Or,
No time for running, no time for thinking.
and therefore, your wife wants to leave you.
The divorce notice is ready, duly signed, sealed, need to be delivered. The point. I agree. He just elucidated in a more dramatic way. Divorce papers are ready. मैं उतना तो नहीं बोला. या बोला भी होगा. पता नहीं. I know I get to the point of giving Gali, but I said तुम लोग को गाली देना. But you agree with me.
Divorce is extreme case. वो कोड़ा फंडे नहीं जाएगा.
No, let's take it. Turn this whole talk I'm talking about negotiation. I can talk for 2 hours on negotiation. Believe me, I can give instances and talk. But I say, how is this? What is the help I can do these guys? The help I can do is open your eyes. And there are enough, as you said, there are fewer accountants coming into fewer. You can make it stand, you can make it known that this is what we stand for. We don't care, we will get the right things. There are good clients. There are clients who want good work done. I would say 80% or 90%. There are those fellows, and this is what a good person will know. ये पहले से मालूम पड़ गया इसको थोड़ा शाना पट्टी आदमी है उसको यही करना है वही करना है ऐसा है पहले से see most people know this is a sick company or about to be sick correct the pressures on those companies will be more right why should you go with healthy companies change of thing make a plan strategize this is where there are mix of clients right now then take the you will come to, you will have to do negotiate your own negotiation. You have learned enough what I say. Focus on this. Try and make the negotiation aspect in your life minimal by making your life more logically beneficial to you, the people who work for you, and your family members at home. By strategizing, what will be your client needs? And do I have your permission to slightly digress? Huh? Because if you do that, then you say, okay, we are heavily into this sector, right? Not a good time to be in airline sector for the last 7 years, right? Because some people don't. If you are heavily into that, for people who are into what they call sunrise industries, sunset industries, if you are having so many in sunset, you better look and say, this will be our new list. अभी ये आदमी ऑडिट कर रहा है इतना ऑडिट कर रहा है इतना ऑडिट एवरी ब्लडी कोऑपरेटिव बैंक नोज दिस समझा ना और उसमें कैसा इससे करवाना ये करवाना इन लोग का लगता है स्पेशली द शुगर कोऑपरेटिव बैंक
I don't know, you know better.
Yes.
All cooperative banks are.
Whatever it is, you make a
Name
choice.
anyone.
That if we are going 6 or 7, we'll bring them down to 2. I hope I'm making sense. And quicker balance between service companies, manufacturing companies, banking companies, non-banking. Just don't get heavily concentrated. At the same time, you need to have your niche. So if you decide that we build on this niche, say foreign banks, maybe, I don't know, economics of your staff, your top people. So I'll leave you with this. That it is negotiation plus marketing will put you in a strong position to have a lot of.
Thank you, sir. So it has been a wonderful session. I think everybody has learned a lot and thought-provoking. To propose a word of thanks, I would like to call Bhaveshi.
You all agree that he has explained us how to do a marketing as well as communication and to day-to-day how to perform in our office. What we have to learn from him is to have means solutions to all the problems which we are facing in day-to-day practice. I ask all to carry on with a long approach.
These are the 3 lakh professionals as coming from the US.
Yes.
More than.